time in the sewer, there were 4 cute little turtles.
Who suddenly went through this incredible mutation process and became the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
It's the awesome, rad, and totally bodacious Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! But if you want to start your collection of vintage figures, where should you start? And just how much is it gonna cost you? We take a look at some of the figures and the prices coming up. Okay, admittedly, I do not know a ton about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vintage figures. I have a few just kind of that have come into my collection and have just sat around. My son has played with some. That's about all the action those have seen. I don't have any complete figures, but I thought it would be fun to take a look at some of this stuff, especially considering the Mutant Mayhem just came out, and a lot of people my age might be looking to reacquire some of the things they had as a kid. So I want to start out with some of the more basic figures that came out in the first 12. Let's start out with Raphael. This is the hard-head version. I do know that the soft-headed version is a bit more rare than the hard-headed version. That's because the soft-headed version was put out when they weren't sure exactly how well this line was going to do, so they kind of put out a cheaper head version to kind of see where they were, and after that they started making these harder-headed versions, which is more costly to make. So this is a Raphael from 1990 or 1988. It's a hard-headed complete, and it went for about $30 with free shipping. So there you have it. I mean, I think that's a decent price for a vintage figure of this kind, especially when it's complete. I mean, the chances of you having any of those Ninja Stars, I would say, is pretty slim, unless someone had specifically collected it, because in a kid's collection, chances are those are gonzo pretty quickly. And the figure looks to be in pretty good, decent condition. So to start off, we have Raphael for $30. That's kind of getting you into the game. Next up, we have the intrepid reporter, April O'Neil. She comes with a camera, looks like a pistol, backpack. She even has a throwing star, flashlight. So this one looks to be in pretty good condition as well. It's 100% complete. And this went for $22.99 plus $6 shipping. So $29, almost about as much as Raphael, but it's complete. Again, so it seems to me, as far as these first two are concerned, you're looking at about $30 per figure to kind of get a little bit of that childhood nostalgia back, which isn't bad considering, if you're collecting He-Man and Star Wars or G.I. Joe, that a lot of these prices are going to be much higher than that. Next up, we have Krang, 100% complete. He's kind of in his robot form here with just the brain and the tentacles of the brain. Comes with a blaster. I don't know why, but this figure always fascinated me. I remember seeing this. A friend had it. I never had any of these figures myself, but a friend across the street did. And you can see that the sculpts here are just really cool. They're just so whimsical. And this figure specifically always kind of fascinated me because he thought it was an interesting kind of bad guy. So this one went for $24.99 plus $6 shipping. Again, same ballpark. $31 to get this figure complete, and again in pretty good condition. The canopy there looks to be a little bit dusty and maybe a little dirty. Maybe you could clean that up, or maybe not. Shredder's another one that was in the first 10 released in this line. This is the soft head version. It's near complete. Looks like he might be missing one of his daggers or maybe a throwing star, one of the accessories. But again, this is the soft head version, so this is the initial release. So it's a slightly more rare version than the hard-headed one, and it has, the figure is near complete, and it has, all his spikes on his shoulders and his wrists and his knees. Those are sometimes missing and tough to find. Obviously, if you're completing your first 10 collection of your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you're going to want all 4 main turtles. This is the hard-headed version of Donatello, maybe a little less hard to find than the soft-headed version, and I think the price kind of reflects that. It's complete, but it's $14.99 plus $4 shipping, so right around $19. So yeah, you kind of get all the accessories, throwing stars, his daggers. So not a bad price to start off with one of the main turtles. And despite Donatello being kind of on the cheaper side, Michelangelo's a little bit more expensive here. So best offer is accepted from $25, so maybe around 23, 22, who knows. But you're still kind of you're inching close to the $30 mark, where that other one was around less than 20. So a complete, or near complete, and this one isn't even complete, near complete Michelangelo with what I imagine is a hard head, looks like a hard head, doesn't look like a soft head, is closer to 30. So I think, a lot of times these first 10 figures are going to cost you anywhere between 20 and 30, hopefully not more than that, but that's what we're looking at right now. Next up we have Usagi Yojimbo. This is series 2 of this line. And this is kind of starting where it really gets interesting for me. The characters get colorful, kind of wild. And this crazy ninja rabbit kind of exemplifies that. So here you have his card back, which is cool. And you have a complete figure. So you have all the weapons right there, including the weapons rack. And someone paid $16 for this. And so they were asking $32. So quite a bit of a discount, but the shipping was $19. So that's going to leave you right at $30, which isn't, horrible for this type of vintage figure. So yeah, these are type of figures that are exciting to me and are, take some time if you really want to try and fill out this collection. If you really want to fill out this collection, it's going to take you quite a bit of time since it has more than 400 figures. Next up, we have another one from Series 2, and this is a fan favorite, Casey Jones, released in 1989. He went for $25 plus shipping, $5.50. We'll leave him at $30.50. This guy with his hockey mask and swords and maybe a golf club. Yeah, he is an exciting figure. He's fun, and again, he's a fan favorite. It feels like he should have been Series 1, but Series 2 is good too. So this fan favorite will cost you around $30. Now here's an interesting figure. This is from 1991. This is when the second live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Secret of the Ooze, came out, and they had to create two different kind of big bads, Bebop and Rocksteady, were not being made available by the creators, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. So the movie creators created two new characters, Toka and Razor. And so Toka now a little bit more rare than most, but certainly not nearly as rare as others. We're going to get some really rare figures ahead. We're talking thousands, so stay tuned for those in a few minutes. This one went for $35 with free shipping. So not a super bad price for this figure that I think a lot of people would be after, just because it's kind of like one of those figures where it's almost like, what does this figure mean? Where does it come from? If you haven't seen that movie, you have no idea. So it's a little one of those interesting figures. So $35 will get you that complete Toka figure. Now this is one of those figures that I always thought was super, super cool. Never had it. Never really had any of these figures. But Krang, you saw earlier, he was just kind of in like this like little robot body with like a little clear dome over him with a blaster. This one comes with a full android body that he sits in from Planet X. So this came out in 1992. This was kind of like peak, maybe just after peak of Turtles, but this was a super cool thing. Now it's going for $170 for a nice complete one. Free shipping here. That'll get you there. We're dialing it back all the way to Series 1 again. And this is Rocksteady, 1988, came out. He's complete. He went for best offer, probably around $30 plus shipping, so around $36. One of the more expensive Series 1 figures. But honestly, I don't think he's that hard to find. But maybe a little bit harder to find with his little bombs there and complete. So, probably be prepared to pay around between $30 and $40 if you want to get this guy. I've definitely seen him for more, but have been unwilling to pay that much. So this is where a lot of collectors are probably going, whoa, that much? This vintage Warrior Metalhead Ninja Turtle cost $450, best offer accepted. I imagine it's somewhere around that area, plus $10 shipping. So $450 took this one home. It's complete from 1995, and this is a case where a lot of times figures that are later in the line, they're less produced, it's not as popular, and they become more rare to collectors. And even if they're figures that they never would have wanted in the first place, but they have that kind of cachet now that they're collectors and are harder to get, and people must have them. So this is where things start to get pretty expensive. So be prepared for that. And before we get to anything that's even more expensive than that, as they start to climb, here's another one from Series 2, and it's another fan favorite, kind of Casey Jones. Everyone loves Baxter Stockman, right? This guy is a mad scientist who creates all these things for Shredder. Unfortunately, he gets turned into a bug himself, in kind of a rotten existence in some sense. However, this guy went for $28, free shipping. That's a really not a bad price for that figure. I've seen him definitely go for more than that, upwards of $45 and $50. So if you're in the market, $28, and you can find one for that price, I think that's pretty accurate. So here we have one that's not a super deep cut into this line, but it's 1992. It's the Sandstorm Camel. No idea where and when this guy might have appeared, but I'm assuming at the very least he's a comic book character and maybe appeared in the TV show. But so this one is a little bit more on the rare side. It costs this person who took it home $122 plus 50 cents and $5.65 shipping. Not something you look at and go, hey, yeah, that's a Turtles figure, and that falls in line to the rest of the line. But you know, the thing about this line is it can go anywhere. It did go anywhere, and I think that's what a lot of people love about it. It's just so kind of madcap and out there that it's very collectible and unique. If you thought that Metalhead made your eyes go wide, what about this one? This is a white jersey Slam Dunkin' Don, 1994. This guy calls it a grail. I know this one is rare. I don't think it's the rarest of the figures, but it did go for $1,600. $1,600 for an action figure. Those prices always make me cringe. Being forced to pay something for that for a piece of plastic is crazy, but you know, people love it. If they want to collect it, I applaud them. I can't bring myself to pay that much money for most things, especially not a figure. But if it brings you back nostalgia, then more power to you. So $1,600 for this Slam Dunkin' Don Michael Jordan tribute. You gotta love it. You gotta love the 90s. Here we have another kind of grail piece for Ninja Turtles collectors. This is from '93. Hot Spot. It's a dog. I don't know why this figure came out. Maybe it's in the comic book again, or maybe it was just kind of something that was like, yeah, put out a dog with spots on it. I mean, why not? But this one is now going for around $900. This is a loose figure. So if you're thinking about carded, it's going to obviously cost you much, much more. But it's definitely on the rare side, and one of those probably top 5, top 10 Ninja Turtles figures that people are looking for on a consistent basis. Here's another character I've never heard of. Shogun Shote, I'm guessing is how you pronounce it. It's from 1994. Again, later in the line, almost near the end. It's complete. It's with all the armor, and it went for $900. So, open your wallet, save up your pennies. This one will cost you, and I think it's probably in that top 10 range for collectors. So, yeah, I mean, it depends on if you really want to complete your collection. With 400 plus figures, it's going to take some time. And let's say you want to get something on card. Well, you know, when it comes to rare and on card, then that's going to cost you even more. This is a Universal Studios Monsters Invisible Man Michelangelo from the 1994 series, and it went for around $1,000. Best offer accepted. Certainly more than the other ones I've shown, not as much as the Dunkin' Don, But $1,000 for a mint on card action figure, it's a pretty penny, especially from the Ninja Turtles line. But I've really enjoyed taking a look at all these Ninja Turtle figures and how much they cost. Hopefully, we're giving you a good idea of what you might have to pay if you want to kind of start your collection or go pretty deep into your collection on these figures. But, a lot of people are wanting these guys back. So good luck with your collecting, and I hope it goes well and that you find the cheapest prices for these figures. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We love to have you, and I'll keep churning everything out, and hopefully you guys will keep watching. All right, thanks everybody.